Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to another Dumaguete IELTS.com IELTS Speaking Part 2 video with me, Trevor Gordon. Today we are going to do a slightly different topic. We're going to discuss how to prepare topics. Now, in part 2, obviously, you guys know that there are lots and lots of different topics to choose from. So, you can't remember all of them. Can't remember all the answers to all the topics. It's virtually impossible, even for a native speaker. So, this video is going to show you some tips and strategies to actually plan how to practice and how to put things together. So, when you are preparing for speaking part 2 of the exam, there are several categories you will need to prepare. Here are some of the categories: a person or people, a place, a building, travel, an occasion, an object, your childhood. These are very common themes. An experience, emotion, but these are the main things. A lot of the subtopics kind of are subsets of these. So these for me, are the main things that you will be asked about. So for all of these topics, my suggestion is to go through the complete list of questions if you have them. They are around. If you don't have any, you can drop us an email and we can send you lists. Or look at all the topics and write down the who's, where's, what's, all the subpoints that you've got to mention in the talk. Look at them and think about generating answers. Okay, the reason for this is to help you to adapt your answers. You cannot be expected to learn an answer for every single question. No one expects you to, and you shouldn't do. So what you need to be able to do is to group and adapt. So the meaning of this is we're going to demonstrate with the most common topics, of people. First, you're going to be asked about people. So what you need to do is select some people, a family member, a friend or colleague at work, but someone outside your family who you know. A famous person that should be in your country and a foreign country, because often questions are talk about a foreign person or a foreign celebrity. So each person will have a different foreign person. So usually, from my experience, most people choose Hollywood people or sports stars, international sports stars. Or so the famous person can be from anywhere as long as they're outside of your country. But you should also look at someone famous in your country. Now here, obviously, I can't give you an example of that. So I'm going to give you an example of someone who has been internationally famous for many years. Maybe you younger people don't know him because he's getting older now, but he was a very famous man, still is reasonably famous. Okay, so before we do that, we're going to choose a person. For this, we can just choose someone who can fit a variety of topics. Here are some here are some examples, below. I'm trying to read and look at the camera at the same time. A person who speaks a foreign language well. A person who encouraged you. An intelligent person. An interesting person. A person you wanted to be similar to growing up, when you were growing up, that means. A person who often helps others. All of these questions can be answered by choosing one person. Person in your family or even your friend. I've chosen family members here because you know more about your family members than you do other people. probably a bit more than you do about your friends, although you do know a lot about your friends. Either one, to be quite honest, is okay. So you can, this is an example of adapting. So you've got your person, you adapt this person to fit these questions. My father, my brother, sister, mother, family member. And we can also add to that friend. My father speaks English well. If you're not English, obviously most of all of you are not English, you take the exam. Um, my father speaks English, Spanish, German, could be anything. My father encouraged me to do something. My father is an intelligent man. My father is an interesting man. I want to be like my father. Sorry, I wanted to be like my father when I was growing up. My father often helps others, not just people in our family, he helps other people. So you've got one person and you practice adapting your answers to suit the different questions. Okay, the best idea is to choose someone and then make the questions fit around this person. You know what the questions are going to be because the questions basically never change. The variation of the topics might slightly change, but the fact that you're going to talk about a person, this never changes. So you can prepare well and prepare in advance. For some questions, you cannot choose a family member. For example, describe a famous celebrity. So you have to choose a celebrity that can fit different things. Now, this is a bit more difficult because famous people do different things. So what I've done is I've chosen a singer from a band, Irish band called U2. They were very famous in the 80s and 90s, and the lead singer is still a very prominent figure in the world of environmental protection and various other things. So I've chosen this singer. You can look him up if you want. For this, you choose a celebrity who can fit all of the questions. But when I say all of the questions, I mean all of the questions about someone famous and certain categories. Your favorite singer or band, obviously. Someone you wanted to be similar to. So you could also say, I wanted to be a singer like him. Describe someone you have not met but would like to know more about. You've never met him. I've never met him. So you could use him or anyone famous. A person who helps to protect the environment. This was the reason I chose him, is because he is a very prominent environmentalist. And he uses his fame to promote environmental projects and he talks to governments and many other people about trying to do work on the environment. And that's why I chose him. So all or most of these questions can be answered by choosing one or two people. Famous person could be from your country or a foreigner. Bono, singer of U2, band U2, sorry. My favorite singer is, I wanted to be a singer like, I have not met him, but I would like to know more about him. Although he is a famous singer, he does a lot to protect the environment. So all of these things answer all of these questions. So this is how you adapt. It takes a lot of practice. I'm not going to say you can do it once or twice, but it takes practice. Now, another thing, the last thing we're looking at here today is a place, common place. Often you will get asked about a place, either a place you would like to visit, a place you have visited, a place you enjoyed visiting, a place you didn't enjoy visiting, a place so there's lots of different questions that are similar. Now you can choose a place and you can adapt that to anything. So you can choose a place to fit the questions around the place. It can be local or abroad, depending on the questions. Now, I have chosen India because I visited India several times in the past. So I'm talking from my experience. Not everyone has this experience. So that's why you need to choose somewhere. You might even need to research it. if you've never really been to a place that you can talk about. So, describe a historical building you visited. Describe an occasion you had to get up extremely early. When a vehicle you were traveling in broke down. Something you took home from a tourist attraction. An unusual experience while traveling. Describe a place far from your home. You plan to travel to, sorry, which is far away from your home. Let's just move that. There's something in the way of my screen. Okay, so we've got 6 questions there that talk about something that you can group together. A historical building could be in a place that you visited. It's a place. Yes. You got up extremely early to go to a place. The vehicle you were traveling broke down when you were in this place. You took something home from this place. An unusual travel experience was while you were traveling in this place. And describe a place where it says a place you plan to travel to. So that's self-explanatory. So this place can be local or abroad. It can be anywhere. Far from your home, you can adapt far from your home because it could be 2 or 3 hours by bus or by train. That's far. So don't think far means you have to leave your country, but it can be just, you can adapt it to say it's a long journey because it's several hours by bus or by train, or I have to fly across my country. For example, in China, a huge country, you would have to fly across the country to visit some parts of China, but you don't actually leave the country. So it can be abroad or it can be in your own country. So a historical building, number 1, Taj Mahal. I visited the Taj Mahal, wonderful building. I had to get up extremely early when I was flying to India from the UK, my first visit. While I was traveling there, our bus broke down, which actually did. There was just a slight problem, but the driver fixed it and we were on our way again. I took a picture of a mosque in Delhi, which I still have. An unusual thing that happened was I visited a temple which was full of rats. Which is a true story. You can find it on YouTube. The temple is called Bikaner. Bikaner is a small town in India, but it's full of rats and they worship the rats. So I don't want to go into my experiences too much, but that answers that question. And a place you want to travel to, I want to travel to India. Now, this section here, I'm just going to explain that. The examiner doesn't know where you've been. The examiner doesn't know where you want to go to. You're going to tell him or her. So even though I've been to this place, I can still say I want to go to this place because they don't know that I have already been there. You know, you don't have to give them your life experience to be able to take the test. They know nothing about you. So you can talk about a place that you've already visited, but you can say, I would love to visit this place, or I plan to visit this place. And then you already know about the place, but you can talk about it in the future. I would do this, and I would love to see this, and I would love to go to visit this place. You just change the tense. That's all you do. Okay. My examples I used are from my personal experience, but the one thing you must remember is for the exam is that they are testing your English. They're not testing whether your answers are true or false. So you can invent anything you like. It will never be checked. There's no reason to check it. They're just finding out if you can talk about something in good English, using the appropriate vocabulary, grammar, and all the things you already know. That's all they care about. So the examiner will not know if I say, I want to go to India, because they don't know that I've already visited the country. And also, it's not important. So If you've never traveled abroad, adapt the descriptions to fit the topic you choose. If it's not abroad, I would say if you've never been abroad, choose somewhere within your own country that you have visited and use that as your base and adapt everything to suit that. Okay, it takes a fair amount of practice. So prepare by going through the questions, choosing your topics. This will make your talk much easier to prepare and to practice. And you will have less things to think about, and you can focus more on adapting your stories rather than trying to come up with an answer for every single question. Even I wouldn't do that. I would never dream of doing that because there are hundreds of questions. Literally, you know, over the years, or even over within 1 year, they issue new questions every quarter. So you think if they issued 25 questions, that's 100 questions. You don't want to remember the answer for 100 questions and try to memorize it. So don't even think about doing that because you'll just find that it's basically impossible. And I wouldn't do it either because I would find it impossible. So there's a link below this with an exercise. The exercise is about an occasion, so it has a list of things. You can think of ideas for these occasions. Look at the paper and see if you can come up with your own ideas. The second link below that is actually some suggestions or answers, for want of a better word. So if you get stuck, look at the sheet, the second sheet that's in the description, and that will provide you some ideas. It focuses on one occasion, but that occasion has been adapted to answer several questions. Okay, this is the end of the lesson. Spend time practicing the answers. Try to change the information for your own information. If you cannot or do not feel comfortable enough, then feel free to use these answers that I've given you, or use the basis of the answers. As a final piece of advice, please make sure that you choose your topics carefully so you can adapt them easily. Okay, you can always visit our website, dumaguetearts.com. We also do self-study courses, which you can visit. The courses actually are in grammar for IELTS, 10-hour IELTS for those higher level students, 20-hour IELTS for the lower level students. It is a completely self-study, but we do email support for certain things if you have questions or something doesn't work or anything like that. And please like the video, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the notification button so you'll be informed each time a new video is released. Okay, thank you for your time, and hopefully I will see you, or you will see me, should I say, in another video.